All right, welcome to another edition of Relationship 911. I am your host, King James.
And I am his co-host, Arthur J.W.
And riding with us tonight, who do we have on the show?
Natalie Woods LaFall. How are you all this evening?
All right, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So, Relationship 911. This is a focus forum group that we hold every Monday at 9 p.m. on Google Hangouts. Definitely, it spawned out of the Facebook group Married in 2015. So if you're on Facebook, make sure you check out the group. It's called Married in 2015. Just search it in the search bar, and that group is another focus forum group that kind of helps people navigate through, the dating scene and things like that. So it's a really, really, really good group. Tonight we're going to talk about. We're just going to go ahead and get into the subject because I don't think we have enough time really.
Yes, let's do it.
Talk about this subject. So look, tonight's subject, right, is can a man be head of the household even though he does not financially contribute? And I'm going to let Arthur J kick this off. And you say what?
Okay, I say yes, he can. However, let's get a general consensus. So, Natalie, yes or no? Can he?
General consensus? No.
Okay, and James, where do you stand? Yes or no?
My verdict is out on this one yet. I don't want to give my answer just yet. I'm gonna let you, the audience, and you guys.
I feel a cop out, JW.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna lean slightly towards a man can still lead the household even though he does not financially contribute. Arthur J, let's hear it. We already hear your point of view, so why do you say this?
Well, you kind of know my background, King, and, for those who don't know, I was married for almost 12 years, and for 10 years of that, he didn't have employment. So I was taught in the church that you still respect the man as the head of the household. Yes, he had things that he contributed, a few resources that he did contribute, but for the most part, I was the only one working the 30, 40-hour overtime weeks. So I would say he did provide a little emotional support, spiritual support. So those things kind of compensated for what he wasn't doing financially.
Okay. I like that you say they kind of compensated. So evidently at some point, it did not compensate.
You're right, and the reason why I say kinda is because we're talking about the character of the person, but I would say just as a general consensus, it should. If those things are in place and they're stable, I think that that's an even swap because we do have house dads, and although I don't agree with the term and I don't like it, it's totally capable of a man to be a house dad and do an excellent job at it. So what do you think, King James?
I say you're wavering. I hear you say one thing, but then you turn around and you were a little bit hesitant, which kind of makes me feel that even though you say this, I wonder did he feel like he was head of the household?
I actually did feel like he was the head of the household. The only reason
No. Did he feel like he was head of the household? I'm not asking how you felt. I wanted did he feel like he was head of the household? What's his name? He need to call up here.
Okay. Well, I think he did feel like he was the head of the household because I handed over my paycheck. I made it very clear that, hey, he could still. Don't do it, King. Don't do me. Don't come for me.
That's Natalie. That's Natalie. That's not King.
Yo, King is coming for me too. Natalie, don't you do it. You stay on my side.
Natalie, do you hear this? Speak on his paycheck thing.
I hear it. Well, a couple of things that stood out for me. Number one, I do want to know, because I was having a conversation. I knew I was coming on the show tonight, so I called. I kind of text my girls on Group Me, and I was kind of like, okay, girls, can a man? And somebody did bring up the point that we live in an age where there are stay-at-home dads, and if the woman makes more money than the man, there are times where the man stays home. I think it's very different when that is the plan. Like, there is a plan for him. For maybe you make $100,000, maybe $200,000 a year, and there's a plan for him to stay home. That's very different than just by default. He don't want to get up off his lazy behind and go get a job. I mean, that's totally different. And it's kind of funny, we take. I do believe that the Bible says the man is the head of the household, but it also says that if a man don't work, he ought not eat. So sometimes we take the scripture that we want to take, and then we leave the other part out. So I guess my question is, especially those of you that are going to call in tonight,
the phone lines are lit up.
How do you? Okay. Here's my question. Because I'm going to stick with my no. Now, technically, maybe yes, but how do you even feel like a man? When you are not working and financially providing for your family, how do you even allow a woman to do that?
And I totally get that. So I just want to say for the record, since King tried to call me out on wavering, I still stand by my answer. Yes, you can be the man of the household. You can be the head of the household. However, in my case, I think that perhaps I may needed a little bit more support. Hindsight is 20/20, neither here nor there. I'm sure he did the best that he could at that time.
Wait a minute. So wait. So are you saying, now that you're divorced,
right,
when you go back into a situation where a man was the head of your house and he did not provide for you financially?
No.
Oh, wait a minute.
And ladies and gentlemen, there we have our answer.
Oh, so you know what? I
want to go back into it.
Hold on. Wait a minute now. So I've got the feeling that both of you guys are really, you saying one thing, Arthur, you're doing another. I think both of you guys feel like a man cannot be head of his household if he does not financially contribute. So guess what? You guys were saying something about the biblical part, right? So
right.
I got a little something. I do my research too. I do it.
No, you didn't.
A few words.
Oh God.
I want to say in the Bible.
Oh God.
And right now I'm talking about the Bible, but I'm gonna give us some real factual things. Yeah. Why I feel like a man can be head of the household.
I'm proud of
you. If you guys are Christians and you believe in the Bible, so I'm gonna go in here. Wives, submit to your own husbands as the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is head of the church. That's in the Bible, right?
Correct.
And in Timothy, let a woman learn quietly with all submissiveness, right? And it says, I do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man. So it don't matter what you do. The Bible says it does not permit you to exercise authority over a man. So what?
So here's the deal. Here is the deal. So here's the deal. And especially for those of you who are in this Married in 2015 group, I think it is very important that you know what you're getting. Because at the end of the day, if you are saying that you got to submit, you got to understand that you're submitting to unemployment. You got to understand that you're submitting to lack of provision. You have to understand that you are submitting to the fact that he's going to be laying on the couch watching Good Times when you come home after your 8-hour day. Now, if that's what you want to submit to, then so help you.
So, so there are no pros to being a stay-at-home dad?
Well, there are pros to being a stay-at-home dad.
You know what? Hold on. Before we get, I'm going to get some calls.
But let me say this real quick. Before you take a caller, I will say there are pros to being a stay-at-home dad. However, I do agree with Natalie's point earlier about it being planned and not something that necessarily happens. Now, we all know life happens. Let's be real. If you're married to someone and they lose their job, that's what happened in my case, then you have to submit to that man of the household because it's for better or for worse, not just for better. Okay? And I consider myself a ride or die chick, so that's exactly what I did. Most people wouldn't have done it for 10 years, but that was the love of Christ in me for that man. So I don't regret it. I just would not choose to get back into it where that's the first situation as I walk in the door.
Okay. And now I'm actually asking a question. So if you were married and say you're a year into the marriage and your husband loses the job and he decides he's not going to want to go back to work, would that work for you?
No.
I said no.
Oh, that he just decides he's not going to go back to work. No, I don't think that would work for me. But I will say that if my husband had a job, I've personally been married for 15 years, and he lost his job, I would not necessarily kick him out to the curb and put him outside. But for him to be unemployed for 10 years, that's not unemployment. I mean, that's uninvolvement. I mean, you're not trying. I'm not saying to kick a man when he's down, because I wouldn't want him to kick me when I'm down. But to work and then not work for 10 years? No, that's
and I agree with you, Natalie. No, Natalie, I agree with you in the fact that there does have to be a continuation. Did we have a business in that was going on that he was trying to contribute to through? Absolutely. But there were some extenuating circumstances, and due to all respect of what the covenant of our marriage was, I won't get into that because I still respect the vows of my marriage. Okay. So I'm going to leave that where it is. But there were some things that contributed to that as well.
You know that I respect you for staying.
Absolutely.
I respect you.
Okay, yes, I'm going to get into some callers, and I heard you say, I want to know if there's anybody, if you're out there, whether you think a man can be the head of his household, if he's contributing, or if he's not contributing, I want you to let me know. I'm going to get into some calls. Matter of fact, I'm going to take this, I'm going to start up here with this Miss, let's go to, I'm going to call the number out, and the last 4 digits of the number, because some of them have names and some of them don't. So I'm going to go to 5343. You're on the line, Relationship 911. Do you think a man can be head of the household if he doesn't financially contribute? 5343. Okay. That person not paying attention is going to mute their mic. And we're going to go over here. It looks like, I got some call ID going on here. So we got Miss Woods. Miss Woods, I'm going to uncheck her mic. I'm not going to call her whole name, but it's B. Woods. Do you think a man could financially, be the leader of his household even though he doesn't financially contribute? Okay, wait a minute. Now, what's going on? Nobody's wanting to talk this morning. Let me mute that.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. All right, you're there. You can you hear me?
This is Mr. B. Woods. I'm glad to speak to you again, Mr. King. Got to meet you at the book signing. I was the hostess of the dating game.
Oh, okay. Good deal. First for a minute, I thought something was going on. So look, let's jump right into it. Can a man be the leader of his household if he does not financially contribute?
I say absolutely not. I don't think a real man who is able-bodied and able to work will want to take that position anyway. I think we talk about extenuating circumstances when we say, if he can't work because of a medical reason or, he got hurt in a car accident. That's totally different. But just not to work and want to leave doesn't work for me. So y'all bring up the Bible and say, if you don't work, you don't eat. I just really feel like everybody has to do their part in a relationship. And I've been in relationships where I've done more financially or I make more financially than the other person.
So let me ask you a question. When you
have to do their part.
When you say you made more or financially, do you feel like you still let him be a leader in the household? Were you living with this person?
No.
Okay.
No. But when I have been married before I am divorced, and we went in 2 different ways. In the beginning, we were in college, we made some money, and even as I began to make more money, and he did not make more money, he was always uncomfortable with the fact that I made more money. Now, that was his issue because he was always working, but he never felt comfortable with that fact. But I just believe if he's not contributing financially at all, if that's the question, can he leave the house? No, because you don't understand the burden of the house. So if you don't understand the burden of the house and you see working, how can you lead me or uphold me if I'm upholding you and it's not reciprocal? I just don't think it's possible.
Okay.
In the end, it's going to be destruction.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Jay,
Okay.
let me say this and comment to the caller. I mean, I do agree and I understand the point of view. Don't think that I haven't taken some heat before behind my stance. But I will tell you that it takes a strong person to stand behind someone and still uphold them in their rightful position, even though they may not be behaving like it. That doesn't give you a free ticket not to be accountable, but it does say a lot for what a woman like me, because I'm accountable for what I did. I still own it. I wouldn't do it any other way, for what I attempted to do. And it's not always easy.
All right. I hope it's a men out here. I'm going to another caller. I hope it's a man calling in. Fellas, call in. You know, I mean, I need some support on this. So I'm going to this other number. I'm going to go to 2488. You there? Okay, that's not. Hold on. Let me go to another one. Let's see. Let's go to 1777. 1777. Can a man be the leader of a household if he doesn't financially contribute? 1777. Okay, I'll just move on down the line. All right. We're going to go to 5703. 5703. Are you there? Okay, I got all these calls and
I think something's going on because I'm getting texts and they're on the line.
yeah, I know, but maybe they're not understanding what the last four digits of their number is. 5703. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving on down. I have a name here, so I'm gonna go to last name Dixon. We're going to A Dixon. A Dixon, you're on the line with Relationship 911. What do you say? I don't know. They're all there. Maybe my phone line is not working.
While you're trying to figure that out, let me just kind of chime in on the last caller, because I think an interesting point was brought up about not necessarily not working, but income not being equal. Now, I do believe that a man can still be the head of his household if the woman makes more than him. My thing is, as long as you're contributing and you're doing your best, then, you know what I'm saying, then we're good. It's not about equality, you know, as far as the dollar amount. It's about effort. You know, it's about effort. So I do want to clarify for my brothers that are out there listening, if you do have a woman and she makes more money than you, that's no reason for her to demean you. There's no reason for her to treat you like you're not the head of the household, you know, because you are. I think I'm specifically speaking to the able-bodied, you know, agile man who is able to go out and get a job and who chooses not to.
Okay. I'm going to get to one more caller, and then we'll get into the second half of the show. I'm going to get into caller 5879. Are you there?
I'm presuming that this is me.
Okay, good. There you go. We got a brother on the line. Come on.
All right.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
There's actually a lag. If you're watching online, there's a lag between watching online and listening on the phone, just so you know.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
So part of the conversation I haven't heard, but from what I did hear, my comment was just basically that I get what the ladies are saying about the man, them not wanting the man to be the head of the household if they're not financially. But then I would ask, hey, let's say he is considered financially. If the criteria is contributing financially, and what other role is that man doing besides the financial? Is that the only role that makes him the head of the household? Because if that's the case, then yes, you can't be a head of a household if you're not contributing financially. But if the head of the household constitutes more than just the financial contribution, then it should not matter if he's the one who's providing the finances, if he's providing the other things that make him the head of the household.
What are the other things that make him the head of the household?
Hold on just a second. I thank you, caller, for that. Thank you. Go ahead. Respond.
So he wanted to know, well, Natalie asked the question. Her question was, what other things would make him the head of the household? And I would think for me, not just financial support, but emotional, spiritual support. You know, being able to fix something if it's broken, being resourceful. You know, sometimes every circumstance doesn't permit for a man to, you know, again, accidents, disease.
Okay, well, that's a great segue. So, Natalie, is financial the only definition of being the head of the house? Is it based strictly on finances, like the caller asked about? Is that the only thing that you can categorize as a person that's head of the household by financial means? That's what it's based on?
It's not solely based on that, but I think that it is definitely a part of it. I won't take it out.
How big of a part?
Support. Here's the deal. The emotional support is important. The companionship is important. If you want to get down with it, the sex is important. There are other things that are important. But guess what? If I'm working all day taking care of your grown behind, I am emotionally stressed, so you ought to be supportive. I am stressed out, so you ought to be there for me. You know what I'm saying? I am going through. So what I'm saying is the finance, it still comes back to it being a huge part of it. You need to support me because if I'm taking on the weight of the household financially, just like if the woman, let's flip it. If a man allows a woman to stay home and he works and she's at home and she's a stay-at-home mom and she's with the kids, she ought to be his biggest cheerleader, his biggest fan. Because at the end of the day, he has taken on the financial burden of the home. So she should be his emotional support. She should be his spiritual support. So what I'm saying is, it is a part of it, and rightfully so.
Absolutely. And let me say this. So I guess, King, I would want to know from someone out there that's listening, if you have a spouse that is military. You know, we have a lot of military men that go off to war. They get wounded. They come back. And they're getting simply what the government is allowing for them to have. So in those cases where you are, you know, unfortunately, you're at the mercy of an unfortunate accident, then what?
Again, I want to really, and I'm laughing, y'all, because why did my CPA just text me and my accountant just said, if he does not work, he is a dependent. He is not the head of household. So,
okay, so look, hold on.
IRS. If he does not work, he is a dependent. And
No, okay, for all tax purposes. But since we're speaking about taxes, hold on. Talk to your CPA. This is a great segue because I'm going to tell you why a man still could be head of the household. And since you're talking about taxes, hear me out.
Yep.
If you take yourself out of the working force, if you're married and you take yourself out of the working force, guess what? You save on taxes. That means you have probably, because if you're making so much, it puts you into another tax bracket. So hold on, let me finish. So he's actually, let's add this up. I want you to get out the calculator for a dad who sits at home. That's going to actually save you $5,000, maybe $2,000 to $5,000 a year. Hold on, add that. Get your math up. All right. Let's talk about
King James. I can't believe where you're going.
Let's talk about automobile expenses. So now he's at home, right? So there's not a second vehicle. You're going to save on that. You're going to save on gas, right? Hold on. Let me finish. Stress, right? So when you come home and you're stressed out, you have somebody there to massage. How much does a massage cost nowadays? So you're saving. Are you guys? Hold on. Are y'all calculating this? Now,
you're skating on thin ice.
Frugality. When a person's home, that means they become more frugal. So they're clipping coupons. You're
assuming that he's at home. Let me tell you what I do know.
Hold on. I just want to do the math. Can I finish the math?
He's not at home. He's riding around your gas while you at work.
No. We're not talking. See, now you want to make him out to something else. I want to talk about the dad that stays there. Because I'll finish. Get your calculators out. Now, daycare. If the kids are at home, if he's able to, how much does daycare cost? $500 a week?
Or more.
Okay, so that's
depending on how many kids.
A man is bringing $2,000. Wait a minute, hold on. He done saved you $2,000 a month. So look, hold on. Lawn care, that's $40 a month or a week, depending on that. Household, cook. To be honest, if he stays at home, he's probably making more than you. So yes, he still can be head of the household and run the house, and look how much he's saving you. So what?
We should go to So,
Okay, let me say this. I can appreciate the way, King, that you totally flip the the domestic, calculation that a woman would normally come up with. I can appreciate that point of view.
Did you discredit it?
Okay, I'm going to give credit.
Natalie, did you discredit it? Are you saying those are not valid points?
no, they're not valid points.
So taking care of the kids is nothing.
No, taking care of the kids is definitely something. What I'm telling you,
Cooking.
you're making a lot of assumptions. Let's go back. We're not talking about the man in a relationship who he and his wife have decided that he will stay home. We're talking about the man who refuses to get a job and go to work. The profile of that man, listen, the profile of that man, trust me, he's not cooking. You still sending the kids to daycare and he's still at home. He's not cutting the grass. I promise you, you're still paying Julio to come cut it. I'm telling you, that's not the profile. And I have a case that I don't want to put him on blast, but I know.
Why?
But she's right. I think that's a very important
Oh my God,
point
that's
to
so
bring up.
obvious.
But we're talking about the profile of different men. And
Right. So the man I'm talking about does all these things. So the man, y'all want Leroy, y'all want to put us in the category of Leroy. I'm gonna be optimistic and say the man that stays home he's giving you great sex. He's taking care of the car. He's decreasing your stress. He's being frugal. He's taking care of the kids. He's saving you on your taxes, my Lord. What is the problem?
And I can understand that, but King, you know what it boils down to?
Yes.
After a while, you feel like a mother to a son, and no one wants to sleep with their son.
He's a dependent.
Yeah, so you have to weigh in the fact that even with my struggle and even on my point of view, sometimes you have to be careful that you're not mothering, because that comes in. So you got to be careful. And there's a lot more that I can go into with that, but I know we're pressed for time.
Right.
But yeah.
And Natalie, since you're our guest host, I'm going to give you the last word on this conclusion. What do you say?
Again, let me just stress that a man cannot be the head of Natalie's household if he does not contribute financially. I cannot speak for every woman. There is a breed of woman, especially young women, that is coming up now in society that actually wants to take care of a man. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But again, I'm mature enough to say he can't leave my house. Doesn't mean that he cannot leave your house. I thank you all for having me tonight. Make sure you pick up The Dating Game. You can go to my website. It is my book. It is a wonderful book of short stories. Natalie.net. You can catch it. I've had a really great time. You guys have to have me back. This was great.
Definitely. We definitely have to have you.
We were glad to have you.
And just make sure you, if you don't know about it, check out the group Married in 2015. Like I say, it's a place where if you're having trouble dating, we hash out topics like this. We talk about everything from finances to being a step parent and all those good things. So it's very educational because dating is very hard, relationships are very hard. So there are a lot of answers. So I'm gonna call it the go-to group in Married in 2015 if you're dating. And we have a lot of great events. And if you're in MI 2015, make sure you check out the events. We're here every Monday. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. The link is somewhere around here. I don't know. But make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at King James. After this video is finished, if you want to rewatch it, maybe it's something you wasn't clear on, you can rewatch the video. It automatically uploads to YouTube. But Monday, 9 p.m.
Yes.
Every Monday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're here.
Yes, we are.
Good night.
Good night.